There you go, my dear. You can take it away, and you do have co-host privileges, so you should be ripping and rolling. You're still muted, by the way, but the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I miss all of your beautiful faces. So yeah, guys, today's going to be kind of, I want us to be a little bit more collaborative. I want us to talk, this is real stuff, guys. I think all of us as parents and as business owners, we get caught up in like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do this. And I think this is just a really good time to understand that we have so much time in our day. We just do a lot of nothing with it. And I am a huge I'm a huge believer in following your calendar, guys. I'm just going to say more than anything, it's a mindset thing when it comes to following a calendar. Like if you treat your calendar like your boss, you will be successful. Your calendar is going to tell you what you need to do, when you need to be doing it, and how to just to make your day as smooth as possible. I will tell you, I do not follow my calendar 100% of the time because things do change. However, as long as you are changing, if you're changing something on your calendar, you have to go back and replace it. Especially if it's a money-making time. So I am actually going to share my screen in a couple minutes. I'm going to show you guys what my calendar looks like for the week. You're going to see, I'm going to kind of go through what all of this is and everything. And I will also be the first one to tell you that my calendar is actually changing altogether in the next couple of weeks. I'm actually working on changing my calendar now because my business, my other business with my husband, we're officially opening in the next couple of weeks. So that is going to cause my calendar to change, and it is okay. It is okay to reevaluate your business and change your calendar. So I just want to put that out there. Full disclaimer. So I am going to start screen sharing. And if you guys have questions, just please put them in the chat, raise your hand and everything, and I'll stop what I'm saying and we'll address the questions. Okay. So really quick, I need to find share screen. Okay. Share. Alrighty, guys. So this is, if you know me, you know I love Google. Google is the bomb.com. I love it because I have my entire calendar on there and I can pull it up on my phone. This is just my work calendar. This is not my personal calendar, but on my phone, everything just kind of mingles together. So I want to show you guys what a day in Liz kind of looks like, and you'll see overall. So you're going to see a bunch of different color codes. You're going to see green, reds, yellows, purples, blues, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So anything yellow that I typically have on my calendar, it pertains to some kind of training that is going to help me sharpen my skills for business, and things that are I can change out. If I don't do it, then it's okay, but I really shouldn't. So first things you guys are going to see are Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 8 to 9. Excuse me, this is supposed to say 8:30. From 8 to 8:30 a.m. I'm doing script and role play. I need to sharpen my skills on a daily basis to enhance my skills and have better conversations with my people. So that is non-negotiable for me. I have those times delegated to scripting and role playing. I should be doing it 5 days a week, but right now we're working through it, and I'm doing it 3 days a week from 8:30, from 8 to 8:30. Then, as you guys see, from 8:30 to 10 a.m., I have allocated to my GPS calls. So if that's these calls right here. These are trainings. These are things that are super important to me to help me sharpen my skills and grow my business. So that's what I have yellow for. Anything that pertains to training. I'm a firm believer, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist, because guess what, guys? We forget stuff all the time. I'm like, oh crap, I didn't realize I had to go do showings at this time, at the same time that I booked a listing appointment, or I have a doctor's appointment that I didn't know about. Like, so you guys want to make sure you're allocating that time for you. Now, really quick, guys, when you are going through, whether you are a new agent or an experienced agent, the first things that I want you to put on your calendar is fun. fun times, whether that's a date night with your husband. And as you can see on Wednesdays from 9 to 12, because I'm a late bird and I have kids, so I really can't do much. And my 2-year-old, I have a date night with my husband. We typically have our designated time at the end of the evenings just to have us time, just to kind of regroup, plan the day for the next day. But Wednesday nights are going to be date nights with my husband. I need to have that time with him, whether that's just us watching a movie or going out somewhere. That's time that I have with him. And you'll see that that's Wednesdays from 9 to midnight. I probably won't last that long, but here we are. We're not going to talk about that. But so those are the things. And then I want you guys to go through and plan out vacations. Anytime you guys are going to take vacations, if you know when you want to take vacations, you should be putting it in your calendar. You should know when, you're going to have fun so that you can plan your work schedule around it. Now, I'm going to tell you, as I said, this is not concrete. This is not, again, because this is all changing for me with the launch of our new business. However, again, like I said, you see the yellows that are training, and then you're going to see green. Everything green for me is a money-making activity that I cannot and I refuse to change. It's like I need to do that in order to make money. So you're going to see from 10 to 12, Monday through Friday, those are my lead gen times. If you call me during 10 and 12, I probably will not answer because I'm doing my one thing. I'm lead generating, which is prospecting for business, whether that's on social media. I may hit you up on social media, just say, hey, I'm just checking in, hope all is well kind of thing. But as far as like business calls, things with title and stuff like that, I am not answering those calls between 10 and 12 because that is my lead gen. I'm super focused. That is something you cannot change and you should not change. You need to respect your time in order to increase your business. So if you have an out-of-town client like I do tomorrow coming in and I have to show him property between 11 and 2, you'll actually see it showings with Frank Rivera on Wednesday, the 11th from 10 to 2. I am going to be out during my lead gen time. So I have to go through and change it. And you'll see where I have an additional delegated time for lead generation. If I didn't book the number of appointments that I wanted to during the day, you'll see extra time allocated to that. And later on in the day. And then I have lunch times on there. Honestly, I'm not really a lunch person, but I also need me time to kind of, after I had like a crazy day of making calls and, rejections, because a lot of people who do FSBOs and stuff like that, you're just gotten like 30 no's or you're like, oh my God, I need a mental break. Well, guess what? That's when I'm doing that between 12 and 1, just to give myself that mental break. Lunch, I don't want, if I need to meet up with a lender or something like that, that's when I'm having those lunches in order to just, collaborate and all that good stuff. But I will do that from 12 to 1 every day. Right as I'm getting ready to prep for lunch, you'll see a little 15-minute grace period where you see a gratitude call from 12 to 12:15 every day. Somebody will receive a call from me just saying, thank you for your business. I really appreciate you being in my life. Just saying thank you. I think that's, for me, it's super important, especially after getting rejected 30 times when I'm doing my lead gen calls, that calling somebody just to say thank you is a huge thing for me. And it kind of stems up the time for my lunch where I'm like, okay, I'm in a better mood kind of thing. Here is something that I've actually implemented into my business this year, and it's client check-ins. And I do that 3 times a week, and you'll see them in blue. And the reason that you'll see them in blue is because this is kind of all admin-ish work. Anything admin, anything that pertains to my team, and things that I can do at that specific time. However, I really can't delegate it to someone else yet. So this is going to be my client check-ins, and I do them 3 times a week. I do them Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So as a client, when they come up to me and say, hey, Liz, I would like you to represent us. I want to be able to, what's your process? I said, well, hey, this is my process. I'm going to follow up with you Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, unless urgent. I will be reaching out to you between those hours, those days of the weeks. That's why, one, I'm setting the expectation. Two, I'm following my calendar, so it's not as chaotic as it can be. And three, I don't have to worry about me saying one thing and doing something else. Like if I over communicate with them, great, but they know they're going to hear from me at least 3 times a week if they're under contract or anything like that. And then you'll see at the same time on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have a weekly check-in with my assistant and my TC. So I check in with her, kind of go over everything that we're going on through the team, what's kind of happening. Did we put anybody under contract? What happened over the weekend? And I typically talk to her more than that, but this is my designated time to speak with her just about me and her. And I try to give it an hour. Sometimes we finish up a little earlier, but this is her dedicated time to her. And then you guys will go see that I have another from 2 to 6 p.m. These are showings, if not appointments. So my goal is if I'm booking appointments in the morning from 10 to 12, and as you guys see, your money-making activity isn't long, it's 2 hours. I can go through and say, okay, I'm going to do showings at that time between 2 and 6. Most of us are in Orlando. We know the traffic sucks. So I need to designate that amount of time for me to be able to go through and book showings. And, if I didn't make the appointments that I needed to in the beginning, or if I had to do showings earlier in the morning, I know what I'm doing later in the afternoon because I put off lead generation. So I have that specific time for that. And then on Mondays and Tuesdays, because if you guys know me, my business is based on open houses. I go through and I say, okay, at 3 o'clock on Mondays and Tuesdays, if I don't book my open house on Mondays, then I know by Tuesday at 3 o'clock, I need to have my open house booked because I need to start marketing it. And you'll see later in the week what my door knocking is planned and then what my open house looks like and all that good stuff. You can see in purple that I'm trying to work out. It's rough. It's rough out here in these streets. So I'm trying to get to the working out for at least for an hour a day from 5:30 to 6:30. Again, as I said, all of this is changing, but just to give you a general idea. And then 6 o'clock p.m., my workday ends. Like I'm not taking any more calls. I need to start respecting my time. And that is for my husband and my kids. Like that's family time. That's what it needs to be. Point blank simple. I'm not going to do anything unless it's dire, in the market that we were in the past 2 years. If we got a call, hey, I need to run and show you this house right now because it's going to have 50 offers on it in the next 20 minutes. Like we just got up and go. Right now, we're not in that market. We should be able to respect our time, guys, because if you don't respect your own time, your clients will not respect your time. That's huge for me. Then you guys see on Tuesdays, like right now I have, we're still on our call. I have a social media content creation. So I actually have to adjust that right there. But from 4 to 6 on Tuesdays, I'm working on social media content. I'm really trying to transition my business to do more TikToks and more reels and videos and stuff like that. So that's why I'm doing it once a week. My goal is to get it up a little more just to create content. And then you'll go through and you'll see, guys, door knocking is on Thursdays and Fridays for me, guys, from 5 to 7:30. I am door knocking. It is on my calendar because I know I cannot skip out on it. And I share my calendar with my husband, who is he holds me accountable. The level of accountability with my husband is real. So he goes, babe, what are you doing here? I'm like, what? And he's like, it's 4:55. Why aren't you in the car getting ready to head to door knocking? And I'm like, you're right. And then I go and I do it. And then I do have some times on Thursdays from 2 to 4:30 delegated for like my own personal appointments. So if I want to go do my nails, if I want to go do my hair and things like that, that's Liz time during the week. Again, like I said, we have kids. So this can change, and it's always going to change. I go through every night, and I'm a firm believer that if you plan your day, because it's going to be a little different than what your calendar is saying, plan it the night before what change, what things are changing in your life, so that you can you can adjust for it. Like, oh my God, I have to do this, or my son has a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning. I know I'm supposed to be lead genning. So what can since I'm going to change that out here, how can I replace it later in the day? Out of the biggest things on here, guys, I want you to understand that lead generation is the number one thing, guys. You should not in any way, shape, or form take a client or do things during your lead generation time unless you replace it later on in the day. That's something that you cannot delegate to someone else. The things in blue, you can delegate to someone else. You can hire a TC, you can hire an admin to do those things for you with your client check-ins. Most likely, if you have a TC, they already do it for you. So you can delegate those things to other people. But the green, those are your money-making activities. And if you ultimately look at it, it's 2 hours a day, guys. It's not much. And we make a ton of money for working 2 hours a day. And then we have showings. And those are money-making activities. And then I want to show you guys what my weekend looks like, right? So typically, I try to do an open house on Saturdays and Sunday. Most weekends, I'm not going to say every weekend, but at least 2 weekends out of the month. And you'll see that I have leave to open house on there because I put up a whole lot of signs. My open houses are typically from 12 to 3, but I have to give myself a little bit of extra time. 1, to put out the signs, and 2, my husband's the one putting out the signs. So I need to make sure he's back so that I can leave because I have the baby. And then I have my open house time from 10 to 3. I have showings in the afternoons, if not personal time, like that's totally fine. And then I have my family time. You have to have open house follow-up. I like to follow up the day of open houses, or sometimes like I'll follow up with the clients from before while I'm at my new open house. And that's from 1 to 2. And then I follow up again with them and later in the evenings, probably around 6 o'clock for the people that popped up on Sunday. But this is what a schedule can look like. Again, like I said, this is not set in stone, but for the most part, and I'm trying to stop screen sharing. How do I do that? Oh, there it goes. Pause share. No. Tiffany, how do I? Oh, there it goes. There's a big red button. But overall, like that's what a schedule can look like. Does anyone have questions? Like, you have to respect your time, guys. Like, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Like I said, my whole calendar is shifting right now, and that's okay. So, Tiffany.
I just wanted to validate everything that you said. One, Liz already knows that I'm going to validate it because she and I talked this morning and I was like, what do you got? And she told me, I was like, 1,000% everything you said, take it and run with it because that's what they need to hear. Validating everything. If you do not protect those time blocks, then you will experience chaos in your life. You will be like, why do I feel like I'm always moving but never getting things done? You'll feel like you do not have enough time in the day to do lead gen when you're like, well, lead gen 2 hours every day, 4 hours every day. Liz's schedule shows that can be done. For new agents, if you see something that she has on her calendar for like 2 to 4 hours, for example, open houses on Saturdays, if you are not at the point of doing open houses, or if you're not interested in open houses, that is not free time.
Correct.
You're a business owner. Would you let someone on your staff sit there on the weekend for 4 hours doing nothing and expect a paycheck?
Yep.
That's not how it works. You would need to find something else to replace that. So there is time in the day. If there are things on Liz's calendar that are not applicable, take them off. That's fine. That's really just an excellent example of how a full schedule looks. If you have put as much as you can for work stuff on your calendar and you still have gaps, reward yourself. That's personal time. That's family time. That's take a nap and recharge so that you can be better prepared to go back to the money-making activities that you need to be doing. Otherwise, your business will die. I'm sorry, I'm not a sugarcoater. That's the
Exactly.
exactly what's going to happen.
And that's what I was going to say, guys. You should see a balance. And that's why I like the color coding part of it. You should see a balance of money making activities and personal time. And things that, so as you're getting started right now, you're probably going to be more in the money making activity things. And that is okay right now as you're getting started. But what tends to happen to all of us, you'll start doing those money-making activities, right? You're lead genning, and all of a sudden you're getting a ton of contracts, ton of clients, then you stop. Then you stop doing those 2 hours of lead genning that helped you get to the contracts that you needed. And then you're like, crap, what am I gonna do? I need to start all over again. So don't be that person. When you respect your time and you respect like the time blocking of it, especially when it comes to lead generation, you won't experience the real estate curve. And I can tell you, we are all guilty of it. Will, I see you smiling because you know I'm right. I'm like, it's one of those things. It's one of those cycles that we all experience. So it's a mindset thing more than anything. When you start to respect your lead gen time, nothing else matters, because that is truly your one thing. And my lead gen doesn't consist of full phone calls. I'm not a cold caller. You guys heard me say it time and time again. I'm calling the people that I know. I'm sending you messages on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Like, what the heck is the new one at this point? I'm sending you all kinds of messages on all platforms, commenting, liking, sharing. That is a form of lead gen, guys. So that's okay. Follow up with your open houses for the people that you spoke to, though. That's also part of your lead gen as well. So I just wanted to put that out there. And if you're not a big electronic person, guys, use a regular planner. I have all of the planners, every single one. I do digital. I write things down. I need to see it. So if that Google Calendar didn't work for you guys, grab a regular pencil and paper, grab one of those calendars that go up on the wall. Look, I actually have one right there, and plan out your day. But also make sure you are planning out your day the day before and not the day of, because if you plan it the day of, you ain't getting it done.
You're not committed. You won't be committed. And yeah, not at all. Something to consider for our newer agents, our emerging agents, the activities that you do today, you will get the return on investment anywhere from 60 to 90 days from now. So if you're not doing lead gen for the month of January, you are decreasing your chances of having a closing in March and in April. So it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, it's a secret. Doesn't matter if it feels like you didn't make progress at the end of the day. As long as you did your lead gen and you protected those money-making activity time blocks, you are building the path to success. But the moment you stop, as Liz said, you will experience the cycle of ups and downs of, oh my God, I had a great first quarter, but I had a really crappy second quarter. So then I got back onto my lead gen and, oh my God, look at that. It's like magic. My third quarter's amazing. It's not magic. It's not, I promise. It's not magic at all. It's a cycle. It's a standard. It's what the experienced agents know, which is why they are so dedicated to their time blocking and to their lead gen. Ali Partovi uses his phone. He has an iPhone, and I know for a fact that he uses that focus feature and that do not disturb feature beautifully. He schedules it the same way he schedules his calendar. I know because I've tried calling him before. And he will tell me like, no, it went straight to voicemail, and it would be hours later. I'm like, dang, where were, out of curiosity, where were you up to? Lead gen. He was doing lead gen. He does not let anything distract him from it. So if you want to be successful, you have to unlock the power of your calendar. You have to own your schedule. And there are so many ways that you can make it easier for yourself, like the scheduling apps that can sync with your calendar. setting up reminders so that your calendar is basically your admin telling you, hey, you have an appointment in an hour and the drive time is 30 minutes.
Yep.
Treat it, make it work for you. It is a system. Everyone thinks that like your calendar, it's so simple. We've been using calendars since we were in grade school. I get it, but it is a system and it's a tool that you can work to make it work for you.
Yeah, and I have, so for a lot of you that so I use Calendly and I have my Linktree, so people can go on my social media, click my Linktree and book an appointment with me. And as Tiffany and I were talking this morning, it has a 2-hour gap. So for example, if someone tries to book an appointment with me and it pops, and actually mine is a 24-hour gap, I won't let anybody do same day bookings for me, because I know what my day looks like for that day. So if you're trying to book like, you know, a EXP discovery call or a client call or anything, or a coaching call, I allow it to go on the next day and not the same day, so that I can plan for it. And it literally syncs up with your calendar, so you know who you need to call, when you need to call them. So that's another thing that helps. And guys, we also have KV Core, where we're managing so many systems right now. You're trying to manage your calendar, you're trying to manage your database and everything. But as long as you can clean it up and use them effectively, you'll be fine, guys. I know. So right after that, does anyone have any questions, like when it comes to calendars? Like the next thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit is how to, I know some people have questions about like, how do you get your significant other involved and how that works. Is, oh my goodness, stop calling me. Sorry.
Is it Jose? Is it your significant other?
No, this is another call. And you see, I'm respecting my time. I think this is an agent, so I have to call this person back.
No, I just wanted to ask, just since you're like, let's talk about spouses and that communication, and then the phone rings. I was like, oh, is it
That's
Jose?
funny. Honestly, he's probably listening in because he can be a creep sometimes, and I know he heard it too. That's why I'm saying it. But any questions, guys, comments like this? We're here for you guys. Yeah, I'm excited.
You're getting great feedback in the chat though. So just great call. The subject let them in. This is exactly what they needed. Awesome call.
Awesome. Thank you. Tell me you're a real estate. Oh yeah. Tell me you're a real estate agent without telling me you're a real estate agent. Everything is an emergency.
Adriana.
Hi guys. As a new agent, I've had my license for less than a year. It's almost coming up on a year, and I have struggled with having a job and trying to transition from working for someone else's business into kind of molding and building and creating my own. And it has been the greatest challenge, to the point to where I quit real estate for about 3 months because I couldn't take it. I didn't know how to handle it. And I feel like I'm at a turning point. The beginning of this year, I've told myself that I'm going to take the grandest leap of faith, and it might go against a lot of people's recommendation. Like a lot of educators in getting my real estate license and education, they all suggested never quit your day job. It's a leap of faith that I'm going to take because I feel like it's the only thing that's going to force me to stick to a schedule, to do the things that I need to do to build myself. I don't know if you guys have any feedback on that. I might be full of myself. I don't know.
Oh, go ahead, Liz. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tiffany. You go first.
You take it. You take it.
Okay. So if you don't know my story, just real quick, my husband lost his job when I was 9 months pregnant. No, excuse me, 7.5 months pregnant. Had a baby in January, and then COVID hit. It was rough. And I looked at my husband and I told him, I said, you're not going back to work. I got this. I've never seen, and no offense to all the men, I've never seen something more powerful than a mama bear, or just a woman who has a single goal and knows what she needs to do because her kids and her family depend on it. I've never seen anything stronger than that. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I've seen it with multiple women. And if you are a woman and you are a mom, you know what I'm talking about. Like, we have this fire in us. And when our back is against the wall, we, excuse the French, figure shit out. That's just what it is.
Exactly where I'm at. Exactly where I'm
So
at.
you do what you do what you gotta do. And I'm telling you, when you think that, oh my God, I don't know what's gonna happen, I got this due in a week, and all of a sudden it starts rolling in because you put in the work, you put in the hours, you put in the blood, sweat, and tears into your lead gen, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, this person is pre-approved and they just got under contract. That's what's going to happen. I promise you, I've seen it time and time again. This is not me just blowing smoke. This is me telling you the real. This is what it is. You got this. Put 100% of your effort into it, and I promise you, you will get through it. I can assure you that. I'm sorry, guys, nothing to
That's the
take away from
plan.
you guys, because I know you guys
No.
have it too.
That's what I needed though. I needed real life experience. I don't want someone to tell me what to do. I need to know that it's okay to do that, knowing other women out there did it. Because, and you know, I don't have a significant other. I have 3 kids. I'm by myself and I have a house, and I feel like I have to lean on my resources. So owning a house, I can, you know, do what I have to do to make sure that we're okay. But at the same time, quitting my job is going to force me to have more time and dedicate that time towards this real
And
estate. So
one thing I want to tell you guys, don't ever be afraid of being a mom, or even a dad, and you have to take your kids with you to your showings and your open houses. Let me tell you something. My kids are out there putting up signs, you know, and I am so grateful. I do have my husband, and he is my crutch. Like, I mean that in the most sincere way. But my son, my kids out there putting out signs with me, they're doing my open houses, and they will ride with me up and down all around Orlando, showing property with me, because that's what I have to do. So I know I had a question about like how I manage it with my kids. Oh, my kids do it with me. They're doing the door knocking with me. They're doing the showings, and I'll tell my clients, I'm like, hey, like and I'm not going to apologize for being a mom. I'm going to say, hey, my kids are, I just want to let you know, as a common courtesy, I'm going to, you know, my kids are in the car. So I do have the car on, they're on their tablets, just hanging out. And they're like, what? Like, you have your kids with you? Damn straight I do. Oh, we respect you even more. And if they don't respect that, they are not the client for you.
yeah.
Point blank,
Most
simple.
of the times, I know Will has his hand up. I want him to be able to piggyback, but one thing on Liz and the kids, I have yet to have a client if I have my kids with me and they're in the car, because I do leave them in the car for the first time respectfully, but I have yet to have a client that does not say, why are they in the car? Bring them in. Do they want to come in? Are they okay? And if I did have a client that allowed me to have my kid in the car for 4 or 5 homes, I'm gonna close it, but
yeah, it's rough.
yeah.
So,
But Will, you have your hand up. Did you want to help her out?
Oh, I don't know if I can help her out, because she's an amazing story, and I have so much respect for her wanting to go ahead and just kind of take a leap of faith. This is what I did want to say, though. I know that for a lot of you, you're looking at Liz's calendar all full like that, and it's stressing you out already to try to regiment and plan your whole day out like that. And that was, for me, you know, George mentored me when I first started, and that's what he said, you got to do that. It stressed me out. So I kind of committed to just having the mornings regimented. And once I got consistent with mastering my mornings, then it made everything else a lot easier. So give yourself a little bit of grace to do it in smaller chunks, but definitely that consistency. And Adriana, as you're thinking about, I don't know when you're thinking about making this leap.
February 1st.
What's that?
February 1st.
Okay, so you do have some time. I would just say work on your plan now. Don't wait until you get there to then say, okay, I'm in this now. Now I'm going to start planning. And because we waste so much time planning, you know, just take some action. So even right now, in your very limited freedom of schedule, find some areas where you can have it scheduled and be consistent in doing it. And then, like Tiffany said, that stuff you do now is going to be producing in 60 days or so. And then some of that pressure is taken off, and hopefully, you know,
Yeah.
if there's anything any of us can do to help you in this process, we
Yes.
want to do it.
Oh
So
my God.
because these are the stories that we love, that we want to support in this group, especially, and we've seen it time and time again. So, you know, if there's anything any of us can do to help you, we want to do that, because changing lives is really the most rewarding part of what we do. So if we
Thank
can
you
help, we
so
wanna-
much. That actually helped. Your advice about, you know, taking small segments of your day rather than having a full calendar of stuff off rip. Start with your morning, stay consistent with that, expand. That's actually really good. I haven't thought of that.
Especially too, when you have kids in school, like if you can only work because your kids are in school from, you know, your kids are in school from 8 to 3, and you can only work from 9 to 1 because you have to be home. Make sure you're purposeful in those hours that you're delegating to it. That's the most important thing. You have to be purposeful in the time, because my calendar can tell me what I'm doing all day. But if I'm not following it, then what the hell is the point of having a calendar? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And for those rare
be
people that can schedule a whole day and then jump into it day one and get it done, love you. I just,
love you.
I mean,
And be
I love
consistent
that.
with it,
I'd-
like.
I'd
that's
love to
rough.
have 10 people on my team that can do that, you know,
Facts.
but
That's a good point, though. So
Yeah.
for anyone that is part-time agent or transitioning, I need you to review your calendar. Overall, how many hours are you going to dedicate to real estate? I'm not saying lead gen right now. I'm saying real estate. Even if you say, well, I got an hour in the morning and I could sneak in an hour here and then I got 2 hours there. Fantastic. You have 4 hours. What are the top 3 things that you are going to do every time you have those 4 hours? It should be some form of training, some form of lead gen. If you want to include follow-up in that lead gen, whatever. Okay. And for newer agents, it's something to do with your systems and database, because along with your calendar, whether you know it or want to accept it right now, that database is another key to success.
Yeah.
Okay. So even if you have a limited amount of time in your day, that is okay. Like Liz said, be purposeful with that limited time. Appreciate that you even have that time, because you are trying to transition. Respect it, honor it, and get that shit done. Okay. And that goes for anyone part-time wanting to transition, feeling like, again, that they don't have enough time in the day. You do have enough time. Even if you only have 4 hours, do you know what you could do in that 4 hours? Do you know what you could do in 2 hours? So much, so much.
Absolutely. I know Alethea had her hand up, so I kind of want to hear from her really quick. Alethea.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Liz. I love your calendar, yes. And I want to say, Adriana, kudos to you, girl. You got it. I'm a single mom of 3 kids. My twins are 15. My youngest is 13. The same, like Liz and Tiffany said, they help me door knock with flyers for my public service announcements for my open houses. I've had my youngest sit in with me on my open houses just so I have somebody to chill with and do some TikToks together with. I think that it is very intimidating. However, I do have to give a huge shout out to every single person on these calls, because coming in on these calls has really helped me transition from that 9 to 5, all right, I'm in the office, it's time to work type of a deal. I think that was what was most challenging for me for my first year, was like letting myself know, like, yo, I'm that CEO that I know was looking at my work from like their office, you know, that was part of my huge growth in this last year, was like respecting myself, telling myself, yo, I'm the CEO, just like I would have busted my butt for that CEO who didn't even really know me. I would have been making his call. I come from property management, so I did a lot of calling and follow-up stuff like that. So it was really hard to tell myself I need to do it for myself. And I would just say, just keep coming to these calls. We're all here. I would want to give you any type of energy to encourage you, because there we have our good days, we have our hard days. But again, that's why I have to say thank you so much to everybody on this call, because when you guys show up and we have these kind of conversations, it really does help. That one moment you're like, oh shit, I only did the hour call yesterday instead of my 2. So I'm definitely going to have a little bit extra energy today to squeeze in that extra hour that I owe myself. Right? Because that's what it comes back to, is that we owe it to ourselves. If this is what you want to do and you enjoy the whole part of helping these people get to their new destination, you should be doing this. And you owe it to yourself to have that freedom. So that's what I just want to throw out there. And Chris, that I have you right here, I just want to tell you your social media is amazing, girl, inspiring. So I'm going to hurry up and time block my social media. And kudos, Tiffany, we need to get back on
Yes, we
keeping
do.
track of each other. So thanks, guys. I love you all. Happy New Year.
Thank
And
you.
I would thank you,
I love her.
Alethea. And something I want to point out, because if you could potentially be like me, I would like to point out that I started out with I owe it to myself. And then I think it might be, I'm gonna throw it on my mom's side. I let my business fall off of my list of priorities for a bit because I was like, well, I owe it to myself, but I really need to get dinner done, or I really need to clean the house for the kids. So what I did is I started thinking of my business as a baby, as one of my children, and I owe it to them. And there was something in my mindset that shifted, and it wasn't for me anymore because I catch myself being, it's a good thing, but I shoot myself in the foot, so selfless. So like Alethea said, if it does work, by all means, because it did work for me for a little while too. But then, I just put myself on the back burner, but then I realized I was putting my lead gen on the back burner and I was experiencing the cycle. I was like, what the heck? So then I was like, no, my business is not my business. That's basically my baby. And I want it to thrive. I want it to be successful. I want it to run on its own so that I'm not in it so much day to day. For those that are parents, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. That's all. Liz, go ahead. Take it back over.
So really quick, also what I wanted to say, I know when I showed my calendar, and Zenaida, I'm gonna, I'll share it one more time so you guys can just like take a screenshot of it. Again, like I said, my whole calendar is about to change. I'm about to open up another business, which is gonna limit a lot. Like it's going to change my world upside down. And that's okay. And I'm happy about it. It's all good. But it looks like I have a 7-day week, guys. I don't. Like my goal is to do at least 2 weekends of open houses. So on weekends that I don't have open houses, guess what, guys? Like as long as I know that I was productive during the week, I did my one thing. I made the appointments that I needed to hit. I exceeded or met my goal for that week because I know the number of conversations, I know the number of appointments, and I know the number of contracts that I need to get per week in order for me to hit my goal. Oh, I'm taking the weekend off. Damn Skippy, I'm taking it off because I owe it to myself and I owe it to my family. So there's other times where I just look at my husband. I'm like, look, I know I've been working all week, but I ain't hit my numbers. So I'm doing this open houses. And I think, and no offense, I love you to death, but we're gonna have to skip date night because I gotta do my one thing. And it is what it is. Like, but I have to hold myself accountable. There's times where the house is a crazy mess. I mean, we all got kids, so we know how it is. It's a mess, and I'm not going to, and I get that I don't like chaos and I don't like mess, but I'm like, I cannot focus on that mess when I need to get my business up and running so that it can, and especially from working from home, guys, we get distracted. We have shiny moments. I have them all the time. I'm like, oh, damn, I gotta make dinner. Oh, dang, I gotta clean the house, or, oh, I gotta go do this or do that. No, focus on if you focus on your business and that lead gen time that you need to allocate to, everything else will fall in place. You can delegate someone to clean the house. The older kids, clean your room. Vacuum you can delegate that. My husband, man, I need you to cook. I ain't cooking. I need you to cook, right? I need you to do this or that. So find those people that you can lean on if you have it to help you while you're focusing on. And again, as long as you allocate 2 hours of your day to lead gen, and it could be broken up into 2 separate hours, 30-minute time slots, however time, as long as you can get at least 2 hours of lead gen in a week, you will see, a day, you will see the difference in your business. I promise you.
And Heather, when that happens to me, I unfortunately, and this is what I was telling Liz, I need to be better about, I unfortunately take time out of my box, like gym, walking, running like Chris. And then I'm like, well, let's get the 10 loads of laundry done. I guess I'm not going to the gym today. And it sucks. But then I know to myself next time, I'm like, don't let it pile up. Remember, you lost your gym time because you had to get the laundry done.
And it goes back to balance, guys. Like, this is what it talks about, going back to trying to follow now, I will tell you, there is not a single human being on this planet Earth that follows their schedule to a T. I refuse to believe it. And if they did it, they are bajillionaires, if that's a word. Like, I mean that in the most sincerity. Like, there is no one person on this earth that follows their schedule to a T. It's not going to happen. So, but as long as you can follow the majority of it, that you know what you're supposed to be doing, guess what, guys? There's time for you to do laundry, but it should not be during your lead gen time.
Yes.
And I cannot reiterate that. It can be during the times, and it shouldn't be during, again, excuse me, it shouldn't be during your money-making activities. So it should not be during the times that you should be doing an open house when you know you haven't done one for the past 3 weeks and you scheduled one. Don't do it. It could be during, you know, family time. Guess what? Get all the kids together. Like, guys, it's family night. We're going to do laundry together. Make it fun. That's when you should be doing those activities. And it's not taking away from the kids. It's including them in the things that you have to do. And I think everybody would be kind of sane.
Yeah.
But yeah, does anyone have any
Any
other questions?
While you guys are thinking of questions or trying to decide if you're going to come off mute or struggling to find the unmute, lots of things in the chat, things like, thank you for the great planning advice, lots of inspiration. This person that sent that message, they hopped off, but what I was trying to type it out to them. I wanted to say, please implement what you picked up on today. Even if you've only picked up on one thing, or even if you can only implement one thing that Liz or Will or I discuss, like, or any of us really, Alethea, like, please, please, please. That's all I need from you. Yeah, thank yous are very much appreciated, but it matters more to us, the leaders of the call, the people that give their time to make sure you guys have these topics and this information in front of you. What matters more is that you act on these trainings. So if you learned one thing or 12 things after we wrap up this call, I want you to start implementing it within your calendar, even if it's just setting up reminders for yourself.
So
Please.
what I did, I'm sorry, Tiffany.
No, you're
What I
good.
did really quick was I just wanted to share the calendar again, just to give you guys a general idea. Don't let it bombard you guys, I'm sorry, but just take a quick screenshot of it just so you can have an idea. I mean, guys, if you don't want to use Google Calendars, again, like, this is just my one calendar. This isn't all, I have like 5 that is all kind of cohesive in one, but I just wanted to show you this one because this is like my work calendar. Take a look at it, screenshot it, change it as you need to. That's totally fine. If you prefer these kind of like, you know, pen and paper calendars, use that too, whatever works for you. But I just wanted to share this for one last time because I know someone DM'd me about it. So take
Someone
a
did
look at
ask
it, guys.
about that. Also wanted to bring this up. I don't know if she's still on the call, but someone said that they like to see white space on there, and
Oh,
no,
Holly
she's not
did.
on the call. Yeah, she's not on a call anymore. She said that she likes to see white space on her calendar as well, because seeing a full calendar like this freaks her out. And if you are that same type, that is okay. This is just an example of a schedule. If you don't want your family personal time on there, take that off. Look how much time Liz has at the bottom of every day. That's a lot of white space that can be brought out. If you don't want to put your lunches on there, then take it off. But notice that the things that I just said, both of those were not money-making activities I said to take off. You still need the money generating activities to be on your calendar. And if that's all you can bear to see on there, then put them on, protect those time blocks. I would much rather you say, all I have on my calendar Monday through Friday is my lead gen. You know, that's better than nothing. And I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
Question.
I'm like, again, guys, if you're doing, and this is just because you'll see my Saturdays and Sundays have just, you know, you'll see just a full week because I do have open houses on Saturday and Sunday this upcoming week. So you'll see that there, but you also can still take 2 days off. So if you're doing an open house on Saturday and Sunday, guess what, guys? Take 2 weekdays off. Take a Tuesday, Wednesday off, or whatever the case is. You still have to reward yourself with those days off, but that's only if you're not doing money-making activities on the weekend. So
That's what I was
wanted to-
working on actually, Liz. So I'm super happy you touched on it, because when you showed the calendar, that's the first thing that came to my mind was like, oh my God, this girl works every single day. Like, that's exactly how my calendar's been looking since I've been implementing open houses, I think September. And then December, I got sick like the end of December into the
Mhm.
beginning of January. And I feel like it was the universe like, yo, you didn't want to take a day off. So here you
Yep.
go, because
Yep.
you didn't want to take care of yourself. You didn't have time to just sit there and chill. And
Yep.
it took me out for over a week. And so you just saying it out loud is like very encouraging, because I was like, okay, this next year, I love doing my open houses, but maybe I should do every other weekend. That way I do feel like
Yeah.
I took 2 days off where I could just sit on the couch and do some folding of the laundry, like you guys were saying, because that's
Yep.
me too, you know? So thank you so much for hitting on that point.
Yeah, I know that my calendar looks chaotic, so that's kind of why. And again, like I said, like right now, I'm actually changing it all together because I don't like driving in traffic. So I'm like, I'm not gonna be on I-4 at 4 o'clock. If you're in Florida, you know what the heck I'm talking about. I'm not doing it. So it's actually crazy because again, like I said, my food truck is about to open up. So a lot of the help that I have at home is going to transition a lot. So I still have to do my open houses on the same weekends that my husband is out doing that. So my entire schedule is changing. I'm kind of terrified about it because I'm so used to what I have going on right now, but it's okay. Change is great. But just give yourself some grace, guys. Like, you don't have to work 7 days a week. You've barely, guys, 2 hours a day. That's it. I promise you. Well, 2 hours a day, and you will see a difference in your business. I can assure you. But but you have to be purposeful in those 2 hours.
Not 2 hours scrolling on Facebook, watching reels,
No,
but not interacting,
no.
sending a message, having a single real estate conversation for that 2 hours, that does not count. I'm sorry, that's your personal time. Now, guess what? Now you need to do your lead gen time.
And we're all guilty of it. We're
Yeah,
all
it
guilty of
happens.
it.
And that's why we want to bring it up to you. If you're falling in that loop, it's not a shame. It's kind of like yeah, we do it too. We've done it too. We're working on it. And again, these calls are always about helping you. So if we see a pitfall or an issue or a change in the market, we're going to tell you as soon as we notice it. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
No more questions?
I like digital planners. I like
Going
everything
once,
digital.